tech billionaire, Mark Zuckerberg. He and his wife donated at least $400 million to a certain group, and that group has now been accused of contributing to constitutional violations in key battleground states. So the group that we're talking about is called the Center for Tech and Civic Life, and it's a national nonprofit that's based out of Illinois. So what did this group actually do with Zuckerberg's $400 million? They provided funding to over 2,500 election offices across the country to run elections. Their money was used to pay poll workers, put up ballot drop boxes, and acquire mail-in ballot equipment and supplies. Now, first of all, I don't know about you, but when I first read this report, I was really surprised to learn that poll workers were not getting paid by the state and our tax dollars, but were instead getting paid by a private group that was funded by a left-leaning tech billionaire. But it actually gets a lot weirder than that. According to lawsuits filed this month, more than $6 million was doled out to officials in Fulton County, which is in Georgia, as well as to 5 cities in Wisconsin. Now, to start with, according to this lawsuit, accepting funding from a private group like this is barred by state and federal law. But it goes much further, because the lawsuit alleges that these funds were sent and used to facilitate specific violations of state law. In Georgia, it claims that this money was used to pay ballot harvesters, deputize and pay political activists to manage ballots, and consolidate the vote counting centers into urban areas to facilitate the movement of hundreds of thousands of questionable ballots in secrecy without legally required bipartisan observation. Over in Pennsylvania, the money from Zuckerberg led to Democratic strongholds taking steps to let voters cure or fix ballots, things that were not allowed in Republican-dominated areas, basically creating a two-tiered voting system. According to the former Kansas Attorney General, Democratic strongholds with Zuckerberg money actually cured absentee ballots that were flawed, contrary to Pennsylvania law, while Republican strongholds refused to lie and in addition didn't have the resources to cure ballots because they did not have Zuckerberg funding. Now, according to agreements between the center and the city of Philadelphia that we here at the Epoch Times were able to review, the center agreed to pay $10 million to help the city run the general election, citing the pandemic as the main reason. Which sounds altruistic, but listen to this. According to the lawsuit, ballot boxes that were funded by the center were densely placed in Delaware County, which is right outside of Philadelphia and leans heavily Democrat. But very, very few ballot boxes were set up in the 59 counties that lean for Trump. Also, they allege that the consolidation of polling places was done in a way that disenfranchised Republican strongholds. Now, we reached out to Philadelphia city commissioners, we reached out to the center, and we reached out to Mark Zuckerberg for comment, but we have yet to hear back. Now, this story here really highlights, at least to me, the need for an honest media in this country that reports things accurately. Because this might be the very first time that you're hearing about this giant $400 million donation given from Mark Zuckerberg to the center to help facilitate the elections across this country. Because the legacy media outlets in this country are not covering it. And the media that do cover it likely have a hard time sharing the story on Facebook. I wonder why. Now, we'll throw the links to these articles in the description box.